Good, happy day, fellow patrons of YouTube. This is Brian with Rust and Beards coming at you with yet again another video. Um, just kind of buttoning up a couple of things about. Let me start over. Just buttoning up a couple of things in the engine compartment. Tuned in. If you tuned in last week, you would have saw the engine actually kick off and fire and idle and do all those good things. Um, So this week's video, you may ask, well, what else is there to do? You've wowed us so much with the last week's video. Well, I'm going to put this thing on the road, and it's even going to be legal when it happens. You're going to get to go on the first test drive. Hopefully everything goes well. I feel like I'm going to be confident and say that everything is going to go well. I'm about to put it back on down on its wheels and tires, not for the last time, but for the second to last time. I'm going to paint the wheels, so I've got to take them back off, paint them, get new tires on it. Hopefully that may come this next video. Not really sure. Kind of just depends on the budget. That's going to be a big hit to the budget. As you all know, tires aren't cheap. But one thing that I did already go ahead and do. Get in here. That is a gas tank. So it now has a gas tank again. I do have to finish hooking it up. It came with a fuel sending unit. The guy said that he was using the tank, so I'm going to go on a limb and assume that the fuel sending unit is actually good. I don't really know for sure, but we will see. Next thing, once I get the engine running on this thing, I'm going to go and bolt the seat back in. Guys, this is going to be let me get you back in. This is going to be a ongoing project, and what I mean by that is I made a commitment to take this thing to some shows in October, as well as November, and so on and so forth. Once I start driving it, I probably am not going to do a whole lot to it. Small things here and there. Case in point is headliner. It needs headliner. This is literally just falling down, so I'm going to take this off. I might keep these side pieces because they're actually in decent condition. I don't know yet, but for sure take this off and figure something creative to do with this. Is that going to be on the show that I go to in October or maybe even November? No, probably not. Same thing with these right here. I mean, I'm trying not to get you guys dizzy. The visors, they need to be covered. Not going to happen for the show in November. So what I'm getting at is there's going to be a lot of little things that I change to this truck week after week. On top of that, you're going to get introduced to Frank, which is my 94 Ford, which has now become my daily driver. And there's some things that need to be done to that, both regular maintenance stuff and cosmetic stuff, things like that. So there's plenty to do. There's still plenty to do to old girl. I keep saying old girl. This is a boy. It's Sully. I got to get with it, Brian. Doesn't like the whole misgendered thing. But yeah. So with that being said, let's get on with some adventures on this video. Thanks for coming back, guys. Hey guys, so I just recorded a complete video with this thing, and apparently the camera decided to shut off. So I'm going to try this again. So just did a lot of little things. Nothing that I really thought y'all would really care to watch. So I just kind of did them off camera, but I'm going to recap for you now. One of the things that I did was put on right there it is, fuel filter. So I just went ahead and put one in line there. So the pony tank is no longer there. I went ahead and plumbed it in. Figured I got to do that sooner rather than later, because I went ahead and got the tank all mounted up and plugged in there. So I got the fuel sending units plugged in. I've got the pickup tube all plugged in there, and then I got it kind of right there all hooked in. So went in pretty uneventful. Kind of cool. I kept this grommet. Initially, whenever I was going to put the bed or the tank under the bed, I almost gave this away, and I'm glad I didn't, because now here we are. So got this done, brand new grommet there. Had to clean out some space behind the truck, so tomorrow whenever I do back this thing out, I won't be running over anything. There's a nice suspension for you. Just going to leave that for another day. Let that be a tease for an upcoming project. But yeah, so bad thing that I'm going to have to do tomorrow. Not a bad thing. It's just I kind of predicted it. Excuse me. Still getting over this funk. The emergency brakes. When I cranked on the emergency brake handle inside the cab. Sorry, hold on. I had some debris. When I cranked on the emergency brake cable inside the cab, it was not responsive. So I'm hoping I can adjust those out and everything's good. Worst case scenario, the whole rear shoes are shot and I'm going to have to go. Sorry, I didn't mean to make some extra noise for you guys. Worst case scenario, the rear shoes are going to be shot. They're oil soaked. The seals are bad. Whatever. I don't know. I'm just talking out my butt. But hopefully I could just adjust them out and get them to work, because I don't really want to be driving this thing because it's a manual transmission. So I definitely don't want to be driving this thing and just relying on the fact that it'll stay in gear, not with this old of a transmission. But yeah, we're getting close. Again, this video, or at least this series of videos that are going to be uploaded at the same time. So for you guys, it's going to be one video. We're going to have this thing on the road. And it may be legal. I'm working on that. I've got quotes for insurance. I'm just, obviously the tires are still not replaced. That's going to be the last thing I do, just again, budgetary reasons. But I think these tires are good enough to get me up and down the road in the neighborhood. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, so kind of a follow-up on Sully here. So I running on the fuel tank now, which I think I showed you guys that. If not, I'll show you here in just a second. Had it running, go forward, go backwards. So I know the transmission engages. I think the brakes engage. I haven't really thrusted it enough, to where I actually needed the brakes. So I don't want to confidently just say, yes, the brakes work. But the emergency brakes are still not holding. I tried understanding that when you lower a vehicle, the distance from the axle and the adjuster of the emergency brake adjuster is decreased because the axle goes up closer to the body. With that in mind, I kind of shortened that up. That didn't fix it. I took the bottom covers off of the brake drums, tried to adjust the brake drums out, thinking maybe I swear this used to work. The emergency brakes, I swear, used to work on this thing years ago. And so, but I was thinking, well, maybe the brake shoes got out of adjustment. So I tried adjusting those. I can't really get them to adjust out. I'm going to try it one more time to adjust out. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to go ahead and lift it up, take the wheels off, and see what I can see. So that's what we're going to do on this little segment of the video. I would like to get the thing moved out of the way. I've got the seat sitting in the bed. I'd like to go and get the seat put in there. That way I'm not having to I'm sitting on a stool in there right now when I was kind of going front and back, because I want to get this thing out on the road, just up and down the street a little bit, just to make sure everything is good before I take these tires off and start painting or take the wheels and tires off, start painting the wheels and the center hubcaps, because that's kind of the next thing to do. So let's do it. I am going to get a broom and sweep under this thing, because it would make more sense to not have to be full of metal shavings and what have you. I'm just going to give it back to the earth, dust to dust. How does that go? Anyways. Come on in. Oh, me. Ah. Ow. That hurt. Okay. Can you see? Maybe. How can I get you guys in here without... Oh yeah, by the way, I really need shocks on this thing. Okay, I don't know if you can see it right there or not. Let me... Hold on. Okay. So, the adjuster that I was talking about, and by the way, I'm leaving these long on purpose. I know you're supposed to cut those down, but I don't anticipate dragging them at any point, and I will eventually probably cut them down. But I'm not 100% sure that this is going to be the final final way it is, as far as like height and whatnot. So I've just got it this way for now. So if that made any sense whatsoever, probably not. I don't care. Well, yeah, I do care, but you know what I mean. Okay, so the adjuster is here, and if I remember right, you got to go up on this side. And it is moving, like the adjuster's not locked up, but okay. Alright. So that's that one. I'm gonna go, let's do this side over here. So this side is supposed to be facing down or going down, but I don't know if that's right. Let me try going down with it. So it's like, I feel like it's going so that as a star adjuster, as you crank, there's a little, it's called that because there's a star in there, and as you crank it one way, it goes out. And if you crank it the other way, it goes in. Well, what happens when it goes out is the shoes on each side expand out onto the drum right here. And so that's the adjustment that you're doing. So then when you hit the emergency brake, it pulls it. But right now what I think is happening is I'm hitting the emergency brake and it's pulling it like it normally would, but it's not enough to hit the shoe. When I look in there, I can see the star adjuster going like this whenever I go up with it. But if I remember right, if one side you go, you take the star adjuster up, then the other side you're supposed to take it down just by how it sets in there. So I don't know. I'm thinking about, if this doesn't work, I'm going to take this, at least this one off, and just kind of get a lay of the land and see what's going on. All right, hold on real quick. Okay, so I've switched to a little stubby guy because I could get in there better. Let's see if that makes a difference. Again, I'm just actually watching the threads on that star adjuster. I feel like it's not moving anymore, so I wonder if it's adjusted all the way out and these. No, it is moving. Okay. Make sure the emergency brake is off. Emergency brake was on. Don't know that makes a difference or not. Okay, so it rolls. It's out of gear, clearly. So now I'm going to hit the emergency brake on. Okay, emergency brake is on. Also notice the emergency brake's real hard to pull, so I might have to get back into there after this is figured out and adjust it again. Okay, so now I cannot, there it goes, I can push it forward a little bit. Now pulling it backwards, see, I can still pull it backwards. So it is working some. So let me just keep at it. Maybe it's just that out of whack. I don't really know. Turn it back. Emergency brake is back off. Okay. Ouch. One thing I got to do too while I'm under here, mosquito, is to clean the back bumper up and figure out the rear bracket situation. I don't know if you guys remember in the very beginning videos, the brackets on this thing was, I swear this is not going the right way. The bracket on these, the bumper was like very makeshift, homemade. So I need to figure out a better bracket. It was bad. This side's definitely a lot tighter when it comes to, I feel like it's actually moving the shoes. Heck, if I just get one side to hold, it would be a victory at this point. Okay. I'll try it one more time. I don't feel like the star adjuster is working on this side. I think I'm seeing the threads actually turn. Yeah. So what does that mean? Does that mean it's all the way adjusted out and there's nothing can be done? Maybe I need to lube it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, nothing. Oh, okay. Now, let me... Now, right into that. I just swept. And now I'm just like crawling around in the pile I just swept. Real smart, Brian. Okay. There. Now that I've already rolled around in it. Okay, so now it feels like it's dragging more. So maybe it did adjust out. So now if I put the emergency brake on, maybe it'll actually hold. Still backwards. Hold frontwards. Maybe it just needs to be driven and have like the adjustments done. I don't know, like this. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so it's dark out here. Let me get some light. It is out of the shop for the first time in multiple years. I got some cleanup to do. I'm just going to sweep this up a little bit and kind of get it ready to pull back in just because it is so dark. I still have to get the brake light switch hooked in. I got to fabricate that. I want to try to get the seat in while it's out here. That's just so it's easier to move in and out and actually drive it. This is it. And it feels really good. It's really motivating to see it out. It's yeah. These tires are 235 75 15s. I was going to go with a 215 or a 225 75 15, but now that I look at it actually out, I think I am probably going to go ahead and stick with a 235 75 15. Incidentally, that is like one of the only tire sizes that you can get still as a 75 series. It's not a trailer tire. So, or I'm saying through your conventional tire stores, you can custom special order them, but yeah. Again, guys, this is a Jaguar XJ6 front suspension, and yeah, 5-inch flip kit in the rear, and then, like I said, the Jaguar front suspension, the little 240 inline 6-cylinder. So it goes into gear clearly, backs up, brakes work. I don't know that I've got rear brakes. Again, I got to pull them apart. I wonder, I'll probably just pull it in. I was gonna say, I don't know if maybe a guy could back it in, and then that way they'll be right up in your face. Easier to get the tools and everything because it's all, you know, up front, up there. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. I mean, this thing is so packed in. Now you guys hopefully can see a little bit of what I was talking about, and it's my own doing. You know, it is what it is. So, yeah. So we're gonna work on the emergency brakes, pull the back brakes off, see what's going on with this thing, why it's not back braking. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get the seat in there now before it gets, well, I don't care if it gets dark. There's enough light to where I can make that happen. But I wanted to show you guys out in the open what it be. All right. So looking at these brake drums, or the drum shoes, they are more gummed up than anything, really. They've got, let's see where you stay right there. Yeah. There's no ridge. It's definitely been worn. I mean, these are good shoes. Well, they got meat left in them still. There is definitely a lot of brake dust. The wheel cylinder doesn't appear to be leaking, although it's probably not in the best condition, but I'm going to run with it until it is bad. I think they just need to be adjusted out and cleaned up, get this gunk and everything off of here. The other side, on the other hand, is rock solid on there. Part of that, I think, is because I expanded them out too far. So I'm going to have to take Clyde, the hammer, and whack on this one. I'm going to try to use the adjuster, though, first and see about getting that adjusted back out so I can get this drum off, because it's locked solid. And the emergency brake, I don't believe, is on. So let me get that going. Okay, guys. So the hardware kit on the drum brakes, I don't see anything wrong with it, when like all the little springs and everything. But for some reason, when I get the drums or the brake shoes expanded out to where they're barely touching the drums, like you're supposed to do when you self-adjust or you adjust these, everything's good. But then whenever you yank on the emergency brake, the shoes barely move. So I'm gonna tear it all apart, look to see if there's something in that mechanism that's keeping it from like fully expanding out. Don't really want to do that. The sun is beating down right there. So I'm going to do the responsible thing and ignore all of that for the moment. Procrastinate. I'm going to paint me some hubcaps. The wheels and the hubcaps on this are going to be painted white. I'm using only the best paint, Krylon. I'm a Rust-Oleum guy myself, but this was cheaper. So, great. Cap just fell off. Oh, full moon. Oh, you son of a... Okay, here we go. I don't have any clue if this matches. It's white. All white matches, right? That's not racist. What in the world? I don't know if y'all could see this. It's having some really crazy... Check that out. It's having some like really crazy side effect. So I'm going to have to sand that back down. Super. Maybe I'm spraying it too thick. I don't know. Okay, so let's try this again. All I used was I used Windex to clean. Interesting. It's doing it on that one too. But it's only... It's doing it on all of them, actually. It's just smaller amounts. All right. That was a disaster. I'm going to have to sand all that down. Retry it. Super. So I think I've got the brakes licked. I ended up not changing anything. Just really cleaned and checked to see where it could be binding and those kinds of things. So let me see if I can. So it spins. I mean, I don't have the wheel on there, so it is a little harder to spin. I do have it dragging a little bit. The key, I think, could be really getting this sucker torqued in. Like, I don't even know if that's going to be enough. Like, it's a manly pull. All right, let's just see what that does to this. Yeah, see, it's solid. Let me try the other side. It's solid. Now, is it going to be solid when the wheel's on there? I don't know. I'm going to get the bumper out. Look at the bracket situation there. If you remember back on, I think one of the first videos, I talked about the bracket, not the homemade brackets that were used and how they were not good. Still haven't done anything with this. I'm just going to let this paint dry. That's so irritating. I honestly, when I bought the Krylon, I was like, man, I may regret this, but I was at O'Reilly's. That's what they had. Needless to say, I'm taking it back. I'm getting Rust-Oleum. It's on every single one of them, except for, well, it even is on that one, solvent pop. So after I clean those, let them dry, set overnight. Should be no reason for it to be doing that. So now I got to take it all back down, which granted, it's not that big of a deal. More frustration than anything. All right. The other side of all that is I'm going to paint these wheels white as well. I kind of want to get the wheels back on there, and then lower this thing back down to check the emergency brakes. But I don't know that I want to go. I'm lazy. I don't know if I want to go through all that. I don't know. I might just go ahead and paint the wheels and then get the tires on there. I don't know yet. Let me figure all that out. In the meantime, I'm going to get this bumper out and see what I got going on with it. I want to say there were some cut wires that I noticed that I needed to address while I have it jacked up. So let me do that too. All right, we're rocking and rolling, guys. So I wanted to give an update, progress. So the brake light switch, I think I showed you guys the brake light switch. If not, let me show it to you real quick. Actually, yeah, all right, hold on. We'll walk it over here. So this is a brake light switch. See if I can get some light on the subject. It's just your typical plunger style switch, on, off, on, off. So what I did is got the blade style. I honestly don't even know. I think I just typed in, Googled brake light switch literally when I was standing in O'Reilly's. This is one of the 10 that popped up, and this is one that they had. So I'm like, I'll make it work. Incidentally, I found the nut size, and this will thread into this nut right here. So basically what this mount is, the bolt hole is just or the bolt holding, the bolt that's in there right now is more or less just for me to hold it. So what this is going to do is I've got this angle just right to where and I'll show you better once I get in the truck, get it installed. But right there is where the pedal will go in and out. So the pedal is going to do this. I'm not moving the mount. The mount is it's in a C shape, and I'm going to, using like radiator clamps, hose clamps, clamp that, at least a couple spots, one there, clamp it really good and tight to the column. This ain't going to be under much pressure because all it's going to do basically is just hold it right there when it stops it, or when the pedal's all the way up. When the pedal's out, the light will come on. So simple, but I feel like it'll be effective. You know, I'll probably start selling those mounts because they're so custom and cool. Just kidding, if you didn't know that. So I've already got the wire from that used to live right there. I went and snaked that back in, so I do have to patch that little hole that's right there. So I've already got it, blade or spade connectors on there to fit onto the switch right here. So I'm just waiting on the paint to dry a little bit more on that before I start messing with that. The other thing that I've done in the meantime while I'm waiting is what's left of my headliner. This is that factory, I think, headliner that you can get. It's that I think they call it like composite board, but it's basically, I don't know. I want to figure out something to do here. This is kind of what it looks like now. So these side pieces were actually in good shape. So I'm keeping those in there for the moment. But you can see, you know, it's missing the headliner, and then it's also missing this back piece right here. So that means that my, I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Hold on. My dome light is now just kind of hanging there. So I really want to get something in here. I don't know yet what I want to do. My initial plan was to somehow flatten this out and get it back in the truck and then put stickers on the bottom side. Just, you know, if I go to shows, or, you know, maybe eventually if people will start following me, subscribing to me, hint, hint, then I will be able to, you know, say, hey, I'm at the show. Maybe they could come with a sticker. And if they got a channel, YouTube channel or whatever, we could trade stickers. You know, like we were in grade school and we used to trade stickers back and forth with your friends. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm literally waiting on paint to dry. Oh, speaking of paint, so I showed you guys what the paint was doing, that I was trying really hard to, you know, I literally tried Windex. I've seen people use Windex to clean the parts. I know it's not ideal, but I've seen them use it. I used acetone. Both of these times when I've used the cleaner, I let it sit for 24 hours. Both resulted in that solvent blistering that I saw. At first, I thought it was Krylon. I will admit, I kind of crap talk Krylon, and it may not have been, because I went and bought some Rust-Oleum paint and it had the same results. So I'm sorry that I ruined my chances of being sponsored by Krylon by talking crap about their brand. But I still like Rust-Oleum better. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe Krylon could sway me, change my mind in that. But the interesting thing is, the last time, so it was the second time I used the acetone, I literally took the whole gallon jug of acetone, poured it in there, soaked it. You know, I was sitting there scrubbing on the hubcaps. And guys, I don't know what exactly happened to these things, but check this out. Like, that's the original paint scheme. It's the red circle or half circle with the I'm assuming the gray or metallic. So the reason I was like really soaking these was I was thinking, okay, this has got to be paint, and the red paint wasn't coming off. And so I don't honestly know how to get that red paint off there. I don't know if it's some kind of old school lead infused something kind of paint. I don't really know. I'll be the first to admit I'm not the end all be all when it comes to painting. However, I'm going to keep that on there. Like, that's pretty cool patina to cover up with white. My initial thought was I was going to do white wheels, white hubcaps, and then on the letters, the F-O-R-D, I was going to stencil in red. Because that's the pictures that I'd seen of those hubcaps, that's how it was. But now that I've looked at these, like, this is original, I think. And that's the original design. So I'm digging the fact that they're patinaed up, you know, and that's all fact. Like, that's the, I mean, that's not me. So now I'm wondering, okay, I don't know if that's going to look great on white wheels. So I'm looking at it with black wheels, and check this out. I just kind of put this one on there. What do y'all, I don't know if y'all can see that or not. I guess you can. What do y'all think of that? I'm thinking I might just keep black wheels and just rock those hubcaps. Obviously, I still have the back wheels off because I still have to take these wheels off to get them, you know, switched over with new tires. But I'm digging the contrast, the gray or pewter or whatever color that factory color is. They got rust, so it's not stainless. It's not aluminum. I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The point is, I'm digging it with the black wheels. So I might just go ahead and keep black wheels on this rig, and I could always change it. If we don't like it, I could always paint them white, or just change the wheels altogether. So right now, where are we at? I still have to work the mounts on the back bumper. It's still off. Once I get that, by the way, the painting on this, I literally used brake clean, wiped it down, and then sprayed it. So I don't know. I personally, again, I'm not a master painter, so I've only painted limited things. I have painted vehicles, but that's neither here nor there. I've never had anything solvent pop like that. So I don't know if there's something like so embedded in those hubcaps. And I know I keep rambling on about the hubcaps, but I've tried everything. And I don't know. I was literally thinking about taking it to a buddy of mine that does painting and be like, hey, I'll pay you some money to paint these professionally and see what his results are, if we decided to go that route. But man, I'm loving the way that these look. And it's kind of a nod to the nostalgic, traditional kind of theming that we're going for here. So yeah, back bumper. I still have to get the back bumper. The rear mounts that were on this thing were, a farmer made them. Like, this was an old farm truck, guaranteed. And I feel like that's 100% where these mounts came from. So they were welded to the bumper, and then the bumper was welded to the frame. So at one point when I was working, because the original plan was to take the bed off, put the gas tank in there, and it ended up not working out that way, just because I don't have the space to do all that. But in order to even get to that step where I thought I was going to put the gas tank on there, I had to cut the welds off, and they were spot welded, so I didn't really have a whole lot of faith in it. But you know, I mean, it is what it is. That's what I got to do next. Tires is the big one, and then after that, we got to drive it some more, get it in the road, test and tune this thing. I say test and tune like it's some hot rod performance thing. Just drive the crap out of it and start looking for some shows to take this thing to, guys. I'm looking forward to it. here. I don't know how much you can actually hear. It was officially on the road. We're taking it to get washed. We're cruising along. I don't know how accurate the speedometer is, but I'm thinking probably around 45. It rides good. I took the muffler off on it, so it's running open pipe right now, just because that muffler was all gunged up. So, yeah, I'm going to go take this thing, wash it, clean it up really good, and just kind of go from there. So, yeah. Okay, so made it to the car wash. Had one instance where it stalled on me. There was a lot of traffic. I don't really know. I think there was a stalled car or something. So I got in traffic, took what I thought was going to be a detour, which put me into more traffic. So then I got and took a detour from that detour, which then ended up, due to new housing construction, it was a dead end. So then I had to get back into the traffic. And then at that point, it started sputtering, and then it just, bam, died. Definitely a fuel issue. I could crank it, pulled the choke, flooded it, got it sputtering again. And then once it finally kind of got past that, it seemed to be okay until I tried to give it gas and it'd fall on its face. So definitely a fuel delivery issue. Any of you guys that have these 240s know they're susceptible to vapor locking. The could have plugged. I don't know. I have to look into it. That filter down there definitely is a little darker than this one, but it's not um, it's not terrible. I've seen worse, but I don't know. I think it was just. I'm hoping it was maybe just vapor lock. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and wash this thing, and I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit. Wash the engine bay a little bit, and then yeah, that'll be that part of it. Hopefully, on the way home, I'm curious if it would have done that to me if I wouldn't have gotten that traffic. So we'll see. Okay, guys, so there you have it. That's about all I'm going to do for this episode. That's kind of the finale, is the drive. She is driving her own power. I think it's pretty cool looking. You know, what are you going to do? So I'm just going to kind of do some passing shots and I appreciate you guys watching. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, do all those cool, fun things. Go back and look at some of the other videos that led up to this point. That'd be kind of neat. All right, guys. Appreciate it.